Okay. So yeah, let's get into night 1 of WrestleMania. It was not that great. Um it opened up with John Cena coming out and welcoming everyone to the show, which was fine, I guess. Then it started with a Actually no, that wasn't fine. He was the host and I wanted him to do more host things. But he just opened the show and was like, "Hey, welcome in." And then later on in the night, he just announced the attendance, and that was it. There was no like fun. There was no like shenanigans. At least not in the first night. So then they open up with the Vision, which is Logan Paul, yuck, and Austin Theory teaming with I Show Speed against the Usos, Jimmy and Jay Uso, and their tag team partner LA Knight. Now, this match was on ESPN. So they advertised it. We're like, oh, the first hour of the show is going to be on ESPN. I guess I know to get more eyes on the product and all of that. Cool. That's always great. You know, if you're just flicking the channels, you come across ESPN and you're like, oh, what are they doing on here? So you might get a chance to, see something you like. So the match was, I say they were on ESPN to say that everything on night 1 of WrestleMania was very rushed and very, like, this is this, like, you only get 5 minutes, you only get 6 minutes, you only get 7. That match went like 8.5 minutes, maybe 8 flat. And they just didn't do anything super impressive. And I didn't like that. Because, like, imagine you've been, like, building up this story for almost a year. Like, a little less than a year. And you go out here to do your craft in front of over 50,000 people, and you only get 7 minutes to tell the story? That's not fun. Now, what was fun was the end of the match, which is crazy. So Speed messes up, and Logan Paul's angry at him. He's like, hey, this is supposed to be my WrestleMania. It's supposed to be Austin Theory's WrestleMania. He punches him in the face. He beats him up. He takes him to the outside, and he puts him on the announce table because he's getting back in the ring to jump from the ring, the top rope, to the announce table to put Speed through the table. Okay, sure. LA Knight and the Usos are on the outside of the ring letting this happen until he gets up to the top rope to to jump on Speed. They finally intervene and they beat Logan Paul up. They put him on the table, and they tell Speed, like, hey, listen, you jump off the top rope, threw him on the table. And Speed does. And the way he lands, it looks like he hits Logan Paul and bounces off, and they go through the table and everything like that. But it just looked like he broke his ribs the way he like hit him and bounced back. It was crazy. That was a cool spot. The next match, I couldn't be asked to care about. The next match was the 4-way women's tag team match, which had a team the fans have named Charlexa, which is Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Then you had Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. You had the Irresistible Forces, which are Nia Jax and Lash Legend. And then you have the Bella Twins. Nikki and Brie Bella. So, and I have the times pulled up here for the first match. The Usos and LA Knight versus Division Speed was 7 minutes 10 seconds. Actually, then I skipped a match. So next you had Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre in an unsanctioned match. And most of their story was based around, at first, it was because Jacob Fatu interfered in Drew McIntyre's match, getting in his business, so I'm going to beat you up for getting in my business. Cool. It later devolved into something that I think is just awful. It was... So in his personal life, Jacob Fatu has been to prison before. Whatever. I mean, I won't say no big deal, but it wasn't me, so why do I care? So it then goes to Drew McIntyre is like, you're a thug, you're a criminal, you've been to prison. So Jacob Fatu comes out and, like, you know, there's some Samoan people, some Polynesian people. They do a traditional Samoan dance. He comes out in, like, army fatigue and everything like that with the werewolf mask. He looked great. The entrance was great. The problem I had was the video of his, like, the Titantron, as they call it, is where, like, they display your entrance video. So your name, any graphics, whatever. And the graphic they put for him was prison bars with his name behind them. I personally didn't like that. I like realism in my wrestling, but let's not go too far. Like, the prison stuff is just a bit too far for me. There's probably someone out there who liked it. I did not. But that's okay. So this match is unsanctioned, and that's pretty much like no rules. You know, the way they frame it is WWE's not going to be liable for what you guys do to each other. So you can pretty much kill each other if you like. So they do that. Not really, but they make an attempt, and it was a good attempt. The match went 14 minutes, 10 seconds. And in this kind of match, one would have thought there would have been a little blood. No blood. There were some spots, though, some decent spots. Like, there was a callback to last year, or a couple years ago, maybe. I think 2 years ago. Drew McIntyre had a match with CM Punk, and he brought out a red toolbox, and he was, like, beating CM Punk with a toolbox. In this match, Jacob Fatu had the toolbox, and he was beating Drew McIntyre with a toolbox. That was cool. A couple of big spots. We got a sequel to something that Drew McIntyre did at WrestleMania 40. So he took his brother's in the front row. He took his brother's phone, posted a picture of him, and at the time he was facing Damian Priest at WrestleMania 40. He took a picture of Damian Priest beat up on the ground, and he was like, bored at work. LOL. This year, he did the same thing, but he took a video, and he was like, still bored at work. And it was a video of him beating up Jacob Fatu. That was clever. That was creative. The finish came when Jacob Fatu did his finisher, the Mighty Moonsault, and he put Drew McIntyre through the table with the Moonsault. That was good. The next match is the Women's Fatal 4-Way. Again, mind you, we're on ESPN. At this time now they're on ESPN Unlimited, because this is the Fatal 4-Way was the first two matches were in the first hour of the show. That showed live on ESPN. The second match, the rest of the card were Netflix International, or if you have a VPN, which is highly recommended. Or, like I do, I just watch it on my Fire Stick. So, cool. The everybody makes their entrance. The Bella Twins come out last, and Nikki comes out on crutches, and she's like, "Dang, sorry guys, I tried to make it, couldn't make it, blah blah blah." So she's like, "But we called an old friend." Ta-da! And Paige comes out to like a huge ovation, very very big ovation. Good for her. Nothing really to talk about in the match. Paige won the match for her team, and now she's a women's tag team champion. That match went 8 minutes and 35 seconds. This is WrestleMania. Why are we doing matches under 10 minutes? Granted, they completely muddled that story. Like, a lot of people were invested in the women's tag team titles maybe like this time last year because they had some really good teams in there. None of that happened now, so nobody cares anymore. So, sure. The next match was AJ Lee and Becky Lynch for the women's Intercontinental title. Now, this match, it's good, but it is also infuriating because they've been beefing with each other since September. They've had several matches between September and Saturday, WrestleMania Night 1, that have went longer than the WrestleMania match. That doesn't make any sense. The match went 8 minutes and 15 seconds. And kudos to them for squeezing like every spot they could into this match. It has been a long storyline that Becky Lynch has beef with one of the female referees. Now, what I hope that comes out of this, the female referee is also a wrestler. I hope that within the coming weeks, the female referee starts to fight back a little more, and then she full-on wrestles Becky Lynch in her wrestling persona. The referee's name is Jessica Carr. Her wrestling persona is Calix. I don't know how the two correlate. It's whatever. So, they make their entrances, the match starts, and they do these, like, little callbacks to previous matches. They do all these good spots. Commentary is really selling the fact that, like, Becky Lynch needs to look out for AJ Lee's finisher, the Black Widow, because she'll make her tap out. And Becky Lynch doesn't want that. So, they go back and forth. They steal each other's finishes for a little. Becky Lynch accuses the referee of counting slow, so she pushes her. The referee pushes her back. They beef for a little. Match goes on. AJ Lee steals Becky Lynch's finisher, the manhandle slam. Gets a 2.8 count, really good, cool near fall. Becky Lynch goes in the corner. She pulls off the turnbuckle. AJ Lee charges at her. Becky pulls the referee in front of her. They do the ref bump, but not the typical ref bump where the referee is just dead for 6 days. No. She takes a slight bump. She's a little disoriented. She turns around. Becky pulls AJ Lee into the turnbuckle, the exposed turnbuckle, which is a metal carabiner under there. Cool. She lays out. She hits the manhandle slam. 1, 2, 3. Becky gets the title back. They've been feuding since September, and they got 8 minutes. That doesn't make any sense. Granted, the match was okay. Sure. Now, out of a 7-match card, there was only one heater of a match on this show. But if you know wrestling, the people who were in this match, you knew you were going to get a good one. This is Gunther versus Seth Rollins, okay? Seth Rollins has been one of my favorites for a long, long time. I have a shirt of his that a gimmick he was doing in the 2020s. Well, we're still in the 2020s. Early 2020, going into 2021, he was the Monday Night Messiah. and the shirt is a stained glass window, and it's him standing very religious based figure like in the window. Really cool shirt, really cool gimmick, all of it. So the gimmick he does now is that he is, so they call him Seth freaking Rollins. I wish they didn't call him that, solely because now they're on Netflix, where if you've watched any show on Netflix, like Jenny and Georgia, 13 Reasons Why, all these others, any Netflix original, they cuss really bad on the show. So I want them to call him Seth, you can enter the word Rollins instead of Seth freaking Rollins. But whatever, that's just me. Doesn't matter. Cool. So Seth Rollins has a history of very, very bad knee problems. This past week, though, he must have got like bionic knees because he's been working. Like working. And Gunther, the gimmick that Gunther's doing is he is the career killer, career ender, career finisher, whatever. He's retired Goldberg, John Cena, still hurts, and AJ Styles. So him and Seth Rollins go at it, and before the bell even rings, they're beating each other up already. So the match is not started yet. They're outside doing a brawl for at least 5-10 minutes. Good little brawl. Good brawl. They get back in the ring, and the match starts, and they're just going. But so, okay, pause. Before they get back in the ring, they're on opposite sides of it, and they're like looking at each other through the ropes. Seth Rollins does the double middle finger. Gunther does the where you throw your fist up into your other arm to tell somebody like F you or whatever. Cool. And then they get in there and it's such a good match. Shame that the rest of the night was bad, or the overall night was bad, because this is a really, really like good match on a dead card. But Gunther ends up winning, as he should have, because one of Seth Rollins' old rivals, Braun Breaker, comes back, spears him. Gunther puts on the sleeper hold. Seth Rollins passes out. That match was 17 minutes 50. That's a WrestleMania match. That's a WrestleMania time limit. That's a good match. The next match was the shortest match of the night, and it's for the Women's World Championship, and went 6 minutes and 50 seconds. It's Liv Morgan, the challenger, versus Stephanie Vaquer, the champion. Liv Morgan comes out. She debuts her new Intern song that she's wrote and rapped and sung herself. It's like a early 2000s Britney Spears pop song. It's called Trouble. It's okay. It's actually kind of catchy, but whatever. Really nothing of note in this match. These women have been feuding since January, and they got 6 minutes and 50 seconds. Sure. The main event, which one would have thought would have been good, was good. It was good. Let me not say that. It was good. The story was bad. The main event was Cody Rhodes, the champion, against Randy Orton, the challenger. Now, for people who don't even watch wrestling, there's like 5 or 6 wrestlers who everybody knows, like Triple H, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, Randy Orton, John Cena, maybe Booker T if you're, if you're really, really deep in the game like that. But everybody knows Randy Orton. So the story of it is, the story they should have told is that Randy was Cody's mentor. Cody was Randy's young boy, as they call it in wrestling. Cool. They've known each other for 20 plus years. The story they should have told is Cody's a champion. Randy's jealous that he's a champion. Randy wants the title. That's it. Plain as day. No. So they do this angle weeks and weeks ago where it's like Randy's conflicted on, dang, do I want to beat Cody Rhodes up or do I want to be cool with him? He ends up beating him up because he's been talking to someone on the phone and they're like, Randy, listen, like, this is your business. Beat him up. Like, now, beat him up. And he does. Turns out the reveal, the person he's been talking to is Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee is a former NFL player. He's a punter for the Colts. Air quotes, lifelong wrestling fan. He's an older dude, bro. Like, you can tell he's just like a frat, bro. Like, he wears sunglasses indoors. He's like, yeah, you all are bums and like you have no money and all of you are fat. Like, just stupid stuff. Good match. Also, Jelly Roll, the artist, was out here for some reason. I don't like Jelly Roll at all. If you do, good for you. I don't like him at all. So, Jelly Roll takes out Pat McAfee before the match. Tells Cody, now give these people the match they want to see. It's a Randy Orton match. So the match is slow and plotting and methodical and very, very slow. But it comes alive because Randy Orton does something. Cody Rhodes starts to bleed. No, Randy bleeds first. Cody bleeds next. The big spots of the match were Cody doing more heel. Heel is a bad guy. Cody doing more heel things while Randy's trying not to. So, like, while the referee was distracted, Cody low-blowed Randy Orton. He poked him in the eye. When he poked him in the eye, Randy reached out to grab what he thought was Cody Rhodes. He RKO's the referee. RKO is his finisher. So he RKO's the referee. Referee's down. They wrestle some more. He RKO's Cody. And he gets the visual pin. The visual pin is when he gets the 1, 2, 3, but there's no referee to count it. So, cool. Pat McAfee runs down after getting taken out earlier. And one of the stupidest points of the match is if Pat McAfee is supposed to be helping out Randy Orton and he's the referee, why not just do a fast count and get your person the title? He does a regular count. Cody Rhodes kicks out. So Randy Orton is pissed. And he RKO's Pat McAfee. Which was great. That's what I wanted to happen. Cody gets back up. He goes for a Cody cutter off the top rope. He jumps. Randy RKO's him. The finish comes where Cody does a crossroads on Randy. He pins him. He beats him. 1, 2, 3. Cody retains the title. But the ending of the aftermath of the match was most confusing. Randy then gets up after, he loses. Cody's celebrating with the title. Randy snatches the title out of his hands and hits Cody in the face with it. Cody's face is gushing blood. His blonde hair is now like crimson red. It was a great visual. And then Randy punt kicks him, which is one of Randy's finishers, where he just runs and punt kicks you right in the face. Cody's eye is swollen shut. He might have potentially fractured his orbital bone. This is like real stuff. Cool. Why do that? Why not do that in the match? Why do that at the end after you lost? That doesn't make any sense. So the overall at WrestleMania Night 1 was a D. It was bad. We're going to take a quick song break, and then we will get into the much, much better WrestleMania Night 2.